Hello everybody, and today we're going to be discussing Dunning's Eclectic Paradigm, otherwise known as the OLI framework. So to begin, we've got ownership. This posits the ownership over resources and capabilities that give a competitive advantage. These may be tangible, such as specialist human resources, unique equipment, factories or office space, or they could be intangible, such as intellectual property, and this could be trademarks, branding, copyright or patents, licensing and rights, or trade secrets and proprietary knowledge. To determine whether the owned resources of a firm, or the capabilities, provide a competitive advantage, one could use the VRIO framework. The VRIO framework was developed by Barney in 1991. I've put the paper there for reference. And it essentially posits whether a resource or capability is capable of offering a sustainable competitive advantage. And it does this using 4 different metrics. Firstly, is the resource or capability valuable? If so, is it rare? If it's rare, is it imitable? And if it's imitable, is the firm organised around it to achieve a sustainable competitive advantage? So let's look at factory workers to begin. Are factory workers valuable? Dependent upon your understanding of economics, you may argue otherwise, but I would say that they are. Are they rare? I would not say so. And thus, having factory workers as a resource only offers a competitive parity. Next, let's look at a forklift. Is a forklift valuable? I would argue not. Therefore, it offers a competitive disadvantage because every single other firm that is operating in that industry also has access to a forklift. Moving on to specialist equipment. Is specialist equipment valuable? More than likely yes, because it's highly specialised. Is it rare? Once again yes, because of the high specialisation that it incurs. Is it imitable? No. Specialist equipment is not imitable because other firms can access this either through buying it or developing it themselves. Therefore, specialist equipment would only offer a temporary competitive advantage. Lastly, I've put the instance of Toyota here. Toyota use a lean or just-in-time system. Now, is this valuable? Yes. Is it rare? Yes, it is, because achieving this just-in-time system or this lean system is incredibly difficult to do. Is it imitable? Some firms have attempted to imitate Toyota's lean operating system, but they have not done it successfully, and that's why Toyota has outcompeted many Western car producers. So I would argue that it is non-imitable. Is Toyota organised around the lean system? I would argue yes, because they utilise it well, and they are the most notorious car company that use this system. Therefore, Toyota utilise this resource or capability to achieve a sustainable competitive advantage. Next, we have location. This essentially determines whether a firm's liability of foreignness makes it necessary for locational advantages to be in place in order to justify FDI. In other words, if the location that the firm is internationalising into does not offer specific advantages, then it may not be worth internationalising into that said country. These advantages may be efficiency-seeking investments such as low-cost labour or a highly productive workforce, which will make day-to-day operations more efficient. They could be resource-seeking, such as gold, forests, silver, or amongst others. Commonly, gold companies like Canadian gold companies will invest in Greek European countries or Romania in order to access their gold and their forestry. Next, we have got market-seeking investments. Now, these investments are done to access a particular market, whether it's through wealthy customers, such as an Indian Tatar moving into the US to access the US wealthy customers, or if it's a US company moving into Brazil to access the large Brazilian consumer base. And lastly, we have strategic asset-seeking investments. And these are concerned with obtaining strategic assets such as human capital, brands, or distribution networks. And these are essentially assets which offer a strategic advantage For instance, if I was a foreign company and I wanted to access Toyota's just-in-time system, the best way to do it would be to purchase Toyota. Of course, that's going to be incredibly difficult to do given Toyota's high value, but that is just an example of a strategic asset which somebody may, or a firm may wish to conduct FDI for. And lastly, we have got internalization advantages. And these consider whether it's best for a business to conduct activities internally or externally. And the things a firm considers when choosing to do this is the transaction costs. So the transaction costs consider the cost of conducting market transactions. If it's cheaper to internalize rather than to use a third party, a firm will do so. For instance, if you are a hotel company, you may wish to advertise on Booking.com, but Booking.com will charge a fee because they are a third party. And in doing so, you'll be incurring a transaction cost. If you as a hotel company, such as Premier Inn, have a large enough consumer base and you can internalize the website and you can attract your own customers as Premier Inn do, then perhaps it is easier to, or cheaper even, to internalize the activity. The second thing a firm considers is the risk of resource or capability dissemination. So if a firm has got those VRIO resources or capabilities that we discussed, they may choose to internalize to keep these competitively advantageous ownership factors a secret. So if you are Toyota and you want to keep your just-in-time system hidden, the best way to do so would not to be bringing third parties in, which could disseminate the information and result in your competitors gaining it. So to summarize, the OLI framework essentially argues whether a firm should conduct FDI through 3 steps. If they have got ownership advantages, they should move on to the location consideration. If not, they should remain domestic. If they have got locational advantages, they should move on to internalization. If not, they should produce at home and then export to the country which they desire. If they have got internalization advantages, then they should conduct foreign direct investment. And if not, they should license their products. Thank you very much for listening. Next video, we'll be discussing entrepreneurial ecosystems. And if you liked what you heard, then please feel free to subscribe and you'll be able to hear all about that. Thank you.